The Tale of Adana the Taker. They said every man who drew near to her suddenly prospered, new clothes, new money, new respect. But give it time, and the same man would begin to crumble until nothing was left. Some swore she was blessed, others whispered she was cursed. The truth remained hidden, until one night someone followed her into the shadows and saw what no eyes were meant to see. Adana had once been a quiet wife in the village of Oba Ugwu. She cooked for her husband, Okafor, and respected him like a dutiful woman. She never thought her world would shatter. But one morning, Okafor packed his bag. He did not argue, he did not shout. He only looked at her and said, "No, you are too small for the life I desire. I need a woman who will lift me higher." Then he walked out. By evening, he was seen returning with a younger woman, Chiamaka, who laughed too loudly and wore lace wrappers every day as if it was Christmas. The shame nearly killed Adana. At the market, women mocked her. Her in-laws seized her farmland, saying it is tradition. Neighbors stopped greeting her. Even her tomato customers priced her goods as if she were a beggar. Every night she lay on her raffia mat, staring at the leaking roof, whispering, "One day, they will not laugh at me again." One evening at the stream, while tears mixed with the water she fetched, an old woman appeared. She was Mama Ifananya, the herb seller. People said she knew more than ordinary herbs, but none dared challenge her. She sat beside Adana. "Why are you crying, my daughter?" Adana replied bitterly, "My life has finished. My husband left me. My land is gone. People treat me as dust." Mama Ifananya looked closely at her. "If you want people to fear you instead of mocking you, there is a way. It will not kill them, but it will strip men of what they boast in, their wealth, their respect, their shine. Their glory will become yours. But it will cost you one thing, your pity. Once you start, you must never pity men again." Adana remembered her husband's words, the shame at the market, the laughter of her in-laws. Her heart hardened. "Show me the way," she said. That night, under the small moon, Mama Ifananya led her into a mud hut deep in the bush. In the center sat a clay pot, covered with red cloth, humming as though bees were trapped inside. "This pot will take men's glory and give it to you," Mama said. "But if you ever pity them, the power will turn on you." Adana touched the pot. It showed visions of Okafor walking away, her in-laws seizing her land, the mocking market women. Her body shook. But when asked, "Do you want power?" she whispered, "Yes." She dropped a kola nut and a feather into the pot, naming those who had wronged her. The hum deepened. Something left her chest, she stood straighter. Her eyes grew sharper. The following week, the whole village noticed. She walked in new wrappers, with gold earrings. Her tomato stall became a boutique, filled with lace, shoes, perfumes. People gossiped, "God has remembered her," some said. Others muttered, "No God works that fast." Men began circling her, each one rising briefly in fortune, then mysteriously falling. The first was Mr. Naji, a contractor who once cheated her late father. At first, his business flourished after meeting her. He even bought a new Jeep. But slowly, deals collapsed, documents vanished, his friends deserted him. Meanwhile, Adana grew richer, brighter, stronger. Soon, whispers filled Oba Ugwu. Every man who touches her luck begins to scatter. Children avoided her fence at dusk. Women admired her wealth but with trembling lips. Men still admired her beauty, but with fear in their eye. Among those who watched was a young man, Chaik, brother to Ifani, a once promising trader who had also fallen after knowing Adana. Chaik noticed a pattern: men rose around her, then crumbled. He also noticed she avoided mirrors, as if afraid to see her true reflection. One night, passing her compound, Chaik saw light flickering through her window. He heard the humming of the pot and Adana whispering names. One of them was his brother's. Terrified, he ran to tell his grandmother, Maman Kechi, a prayerful woman. She tied a white cloth on his wrist and said, "You are young, but God will use your eyes. Do not fear her beauty. When the time comes, speak the truth boldly." Chaik became a watcher. He saw Adana slipping cufflinks, pens, handkerchiefs into her wrapper, feeding them to the pot. He waited for the right moment. Her next target was a boastful counselor who mocked women openly. Adana decided to teach him a lesson. She lured him, stole his cufflink, and returned to the pot. But when she placed it inside, something strange happened. The pot shook violently. Instead of his face, it showed her own face, aged, wrinkled, hollow-eyed. She gasped in horror. At that moment, Chike stepped into the room, the white cloth shining on his wrist. "Auntie," he said, "stop this. What God gives cannot be swallowed by a pot." The pot cracked loudly. The faces of all the men Adana had drained appeared, chanting, "You took from us! You took from us!" Her shelves collapsed, perfume shattered, wrappers fell. She screamed, "They mocked me first. I only wanted revenge." Chike shook his head. But revenge does not end. It eats the one who serves it. The pot's hum grew louder, then fell silent. The reflection showed Adana again, but this time as a withered old woman. She realized with terror, the pot had begun to feed on her. Aftermath. By morning, the village gathered. Her boutique was empty, her generator silent, her shelves bare. Adana stepped out, pale and weak, her once bright eyes dull. Children mocked her, Adana the Taker. Women shook their heads. Men turned away. From that day, no one went near her again. She locked the back room and threw the key into the river. But at night, she still heard the faint hum, reminding her of the covenant she could never fully escape. She returned to farming, tilling the same land once taken from her. Her fine wrappers were gone, her hands rough with blisters. One afternoon, Chike passed with a basin of water. She whispered, "Thank you for showing me the mirror of my life." Chike looked at her with pity. "Auntie, revenge is a fire. It burns both the victim and the victor." Adana lowered her head. She had sought power but gained emptiness. Moral lessons. 1. Revenge is a fire that burns both ways. Adana thought she was punishing others, but she only destroyed herself. 2. True power is not in destroying others, but in building yourself. Hard work, patience, and faith last longer than shortcuts. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more story.